𝗪𝗁 here with Business Coach Mastery, all about the word leverage. We talk about the word leverage quite often. In this short video, I'm going to explain why leverage matters, and then I'm going to show you tactically how to walk out leverage using AI tools, something brand new that we've been talking about in our Business Coach Mastery community. And I show it to you and share it with you to help you understand that even if you're a successful coach, the idea of thinking that we have to do everything on our own, the idea that thinking that we have to know it all is absolutely wrong. Now, there was a day, wasn't that long ago, it felt like, man, if you don't have all the answers, if you don't have all the resources, then it was going to be probably a challenge, and those days are over. So, number one, the word leverage, right? The whole idea of many hands make light work. So if you're going to do anything, it is a whole lot better to leverage resources, to leverage tools, to leverage the right tools to be able to accomplish your goal. Silly analogy, but if you got a big rock to move, you can either try to move that rock by yourself, you could try to move that rock with a tool, or you could say, hey, would you be able to help me? That's leveraging a relationship in that case. And so as we're building successful business coaching practices, every single thing that we do today, we need to stop, and before we do it, ask the question, is there someone or something I can leverage to move forward? Is there someone or a resource to leverage to help me through this, to reduce my time doing it, to reduce my energy, to have a better outcome when it's all said and done? That's what leverage is all about. One of my favorite things to do when it pertains to getting clients, I love collaboration. I love collaborating with other relationships to get access to extending my network. That's leveraging. That's leveraging. It could be someone you've known for a very long time. It could be a past and or a current client. That's leveraging. So we want to adopt that word leverage and really lean in and understand that if you remove that word leverage, you're just going to make the process and the journey way more difficult, number one, and certainly way more difficult than it needs to be. So let's talk about leverage from a standpoint of technology. And you know, you've probably heard AI this, 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀𝘁 that, 𝗪𝗁cie this, Gemini that, all these different resources. But as the dust is now settling and we're starting to recognize how to utilize tools to advance what we do, certainly in business coaching, that's exactly what we've done in our done-for-you business coaching system. We utilize software called Profit Mastery Accelerator. And inside of that software, we have a tool now that's called an AI Coach Assist. It is assisting specifically in the context of business coaching. It's not just another AI tool. It's not a rival, if you will, to all the other platforms out there. It directly sits inside. I'm going to show it to you, by the way. It directly sits inside our software to assist you so that you can leverage it to ask any question related to working with your prospect, working with your client, so you don't have to know everything. Now, we already have a lot of resources in there to answer a lot of questions. The way that we coach our clients, number one, with simplicity, is we go one strategy at a time and one step at a time. We have an entire process to walk that through. However, in the beginning, though, meaning not the beginning of time, but in the beginning, or even in Genesis, but in our beginning of our relationship building time, there are questions that come up, and every relationship style and process and length of time is going to be very different. But oftentimes, it's really simple when we don't know the answers to things to give platitudinal answers, which you can call that basically just like generic answers that really don't move the needle. It doesn't offer engagement. It doesn't increase emotional IQ with them. It's not offering aha moments. So we solve that by providing a tool inside of our software for all of our coaches. It's just a part of the process and part of the plan to be able to assist you in whatever it is you're working with. So I'm going to show it to you real quick. And in showing that we're in here in our software, get my words out. In here in our software, this is our tool. I've already pre-done the prompts just for time purposes. This is going to be a shorter training than normal, but so that you can understand exactly how this works. Now, most of our content revolves around, as we're working with businesses on growing profitability, their leadership, and their culture, right? Inside that profitability, there are 12 foundational principles that we talk about pretty consistently. So the tool is versed, one, inside of all those strategies. We have a lot of more than that, but these 12 are the foundational ones that we work through in the beginning stages of working with a client. Number two, we utilize an assessment in our system that's called the 100K Challenge. You can learn more about that, but it's an entire visual representation of what small incremental percentage increases look like through multiple business strategies. If you're on our coaching team, you certainly know exactly what that is. So this tool is versed in both of those things. So as we're walking through different scenarios and questions and wonders and what ifs, it is wrapped around the axle of those two things in a very deep way. Not exclusively, but it's been trained to recall those types of content because that's what we're working with a client. Let me kind of show you. So here's a question that I asked. I am meeting with a potential prospect who is a referral through a friend. It's very important when we're doing prompts to get very clear upon what you're doing, why you're doing it. So the more detail you have, the better the response is going to be. They own a local pizza shop with 3 locations. It's important to make sure to note in a detail like 3 locations. What are some of the best questions I can start with to offer intrigue and to get them to have an aha moment? So it's important to say things like, how can I get them really dialed in, to lean in, to offer intrigue, give them an aha moment? We don't just want to have one small line. We want to offer a prompt with a lot of grit to it, okay? Here's the response. I'm not going to go through all these, but you're going to get the overall idea. When meeting with a potential prospect who owns a local pizza shop, it's important to ask questions that not only engage them, but also highlight potential areas for growth and improvement. Here are some questions that you can use to spark intrigue and lead them to an aha moment. So that's the goal, intrigue and aha moment. 1, understand their unique selling proposition. So here's a couple of questions you could ask about that overall theme of their unique selling proposition. So what do you believe sets your pizza shop apart from others in the area? Or how do you communicate your unique offerings to your customers? One of the best things that you can do as you're building relationships is ask questions to get them to think, and you're revealing a lot about the business. But more than that, trust me, if you haven't done this process a lot, it helps them to process things, because that's when they're going to go, I'm not sure, or yeah, we've thought about that. We've got to do a better job. And these things bring you closer together, and it shows you being a thought leader. You're helping them to think strategically about their business. Maybe it's about exploring customer service experience. Can you describe the typical customer experience at your pizza shop, or whatever the name of the pizzeria would be? Or what feedback have you received from customers about their experience? Maybe it's identifying growth opportunities. Have you considered any strategies to increase foot traffic to your locations? Notice there it said locations because we told it they have 3 locations. What methods have you used to encourage repeat business from your current customers? So it just goes down in this example to give you things to consider. It goes down to give you things to think about, right? So you just don't have to think on your own. Sure, from a gut instinct, you're going to know some things of what to do, but now you have an assistant or an assistance with this. I go further with this. How could I ask them about their leadership style? To inquire about their leadership style in a way that encourages reflection and discussion, consider asking open-ended questions that allow them to share their approach and experiences. Here are some few suggestions. So how would you describe your approach to leading your team across 3 locations? That's a good one. It's a very good question. Can you share an example of a leadership challenge you faced and how you addressed it, right? In what ways do you involve your team in decision-making processes? We're just asking great questions tied to what they were wanting to do. Lastly, what if I don't have experience working in a pizza restaurant? How do I still prove value? Even without direct experience in the pizza restaurant industry, you can still provide significant value by leveraging your expertise in business growth strategies and focusing on universal principles that apply to any business. This is really important. It was really cool that it said this. Universal principles that apply to any business, because all 12 of the strategies, the foundational principles, apply to every business under the moon. Doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how small. Highlight transferable skills, focus on results, ask insightful questions, leverage the Jumpstart 12 strategies, and so on. So that just gives you a little preview. So if you're on our coaching team, jump in there, start to use your tool, your Coach Assist tool. If you've been considering starting a business coaching practice and you don't have resources, you don't have tools, you would like to be streamlined, you'd love to have access to tools like I just showed you here, there may be a button here or maybe in an email that you may have received, and schedule just a quick chat with us and we'll share with you exactly what we do, our entire done-for-you system designed to be able to help you to get your flexibility, get your time back, charge what you want, earn what you want, and so on. You'll learn all about that. But in this case, we're talking about using AI specifically in our system for leveraging our time, But regardless, as you build your coaching practice and grow your business, leverage resources, leverage time, leverage relationships, leverage money. That's where growth comes from. Until next time, take care.